So we are so excited to have East Hampton resident Noel Hankin, who is the author of After Dark, Birth of the Disco Dance Party. Are there any discoers up in the house? Let's hear it, say yeah. Well, welcome, and thank you for coming. After a corporate career, you made it possible for those of us who were in college during that era to be able to come to clubs like Leviticus. So tell us what the Friends was all about.
Best of Friends like to party. So we formed a social club, and the idea was not to make money. The idea was to create great parties where people had fun. That was our goal. And one day, when I started in the corporate world, 1970, I worked in Midtown Manhattan at Young and Rubicam, the big ad agency.
Wow.
And I noticed that after work, the handful of black folks who worked in Midtown, these junior executives, they left Midtown right after work. And I realized that we had an opportunity to create a party for them to stay in Midtown. They were already well-dressed. They had money in their pocket. They were the kind of people that would be my target audience.
Yes.
So we put together an event, a dance party, after work, 5 to 9.
I love it.
At the Ginza. And we invited people to come and pay $3 to get in, and they got a drink ticket.
Wow.
$3, they got a drink. You couldn't say no to that. Plus, the establishment gave them a plate of Chinese food. It was lo mein or chow mein.
Oh, I love it.
So you can have dinner too.
I love it.
But I wanted to say this. The proprietor was concerned because we were in our 20s, a group of 8 young black men, and he said he wanted a $1,000 guarantee across the bar. That's in 1971. That's $7,500 today. We knew we had a following.
Yes.
And because we had a following and 3,000 names in our mailing list, we accepted that requirement, and we met it and exceeded it. And in fact, it was so successful. Yeah.
And that's before social media and all of that. You had your contact list, your Rolodex.
We had no social media, of course, but also we were concerned about mass media, and we did not use mass media. We didn't use it because crime was out of control in New York City, so bad that white flight left some of these clubs that were previously prestigious available to us. Because when we came knocking at the door, they didn't really want us, but they needed us. And so we brought our crowd in. Our crowd spent the money across the bar. We took the door.
I love it. And so what years are we speaking?
1971 is when we started.
Okay.
By 1973, we started building our own clubs.
Wow.
And within a couple of years, we owned 5. 3 were the first black-owned clubs in Midtown Manhattan. Well, that's Leviticus, Justine's, and Bogart's. And then we had Lucifer's in Queens. And we had Brandy's in Brooklyn. So we had 5 clubs.
Are there any Lucifers in here? Are there any Justines in here? Any Leviticus? All right. What were the other 2?
Bogart's.
Any Bogarts?
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
And
Did
Brandy's.
you reach what was the last one?
Brandy's in Brooklyn.
Anybody? Brandy's in Brooklyn?
You know what? Let me say something about Brandy's. It was kind of a little bit of a white elephant. It was a great-looking club, our best-looking club. But it was in Brooklyn. Now, Brooklyn was populated with after-hours clubs. They didn't adhere to the law. They didn't care about the 4 a.m. curfew. We closed at 4 a.m., so if people would roll in around 2 a.m., and when we call last call at 3:30 or so, they would get upset. Last call? What? Because they were used to go until like 9, 10 in the morning.
The next day.
Yeah, next day. But we decided up front we will never do anything that's illegal.
Okay.
Because once you do that, keep in mind, the mafia was at full strength in 1971 and those early 70s, full strength. And if they detected that you were doing something illegal, they got you.
You met your wife during that season as well?
I met my wife. I met my wife before we built our first club.
Love it, Gwen.
Yeah, we were at La Martinique.
At the Martinique.
La Martinique, yeah. La Martinique was an existing supper club that had people like Frank Sinatra. You go there, have dinner, and listen to Frank Sinatra on a low-rise stage with an orchestra, big orchestra. Now, when we got there, we said, look, we're going to tell you what we're going to do. We're going to bring in our sound equipment. We brought in like 9 Bose speakers, 4 big black boxes on the stage. We put the DJ right on the stage and brought our crowd. And our crowd knows how to dance.
Yeah, oh, we know how to dance.
And we turned it out. It just turned it into a totally different experience.
So your last call was 3:30 for a 4 o'clock closing.
Oh,
What
yeah.
time did you start?
Well, typically, we opened at 9, but typically people came around 9, 10, like that,
Okay.
10:30.
Well, we want to thank you because we had places to go that were safe places when we came home from college and to meet our friends. So thank you for opening up those doors.
Yeah.
So what are you most proud about? Yeah, let's give it up for him. Thank you. We had places to go.
Well, I think what we contributed to was a lot of successful marriages. A lot of people met and married at our clubs.
Wow.
And
You
we
have
had
any-
a lot of weddings there, too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You have any new clubs to open? Some of us are looking right now. I'm not talking about anyone in
That's a good point.
particular.
That's
but
a good point.
We may need a new club. Raise your hand or look straight ahead.
That's why weddings aren't working so well these days. These marriages are ending left and right.
So you said something important. You said that you knew your audience, and that's a big part of business success.
Yes.
So who was your target audience? And in addition to your Rolodex or whatever way you contacted them, how did you define your target audience? How did they find you?
Well, I was one of the few of us in this group of 8 guys who worked in Midtown, and I could see that there was an audience that was growing, small but growing, young black executives, male and female, working in Midtown Manhattan. When we opened our first club, something surprising happened. I had no idea it was going to take place like that. Everyone else liked to go to the discotheque too. So we didn't just get young blacks who were executives in Midtown. We got people who worked in service industries and blue-collar jobs in the outer boroughs who went home after work, changed into their suits, and came back.
I love it.
And you know what? Once they get inside the room with their suit on, you can't tell them apart.
That's right.
And
that's
I'll tell you one other thing I learned from the discotheque business, because it becomes apparent, and it'll resonate when I tell you. You step on the dance floor, it doesn't matter what your life station is. You can be anything.
And that's the way we're going to end the show
Everybody's
tonight.
equal on the dance floor.
Well, we're going to invite Andrea Kottman up, and we're going to invite Danielle. We're going to have somebody from each generation, because we ain't going to end today. Where can they get your book after dark?
Well, it's available wherever books are sold, Barnes & Nobles, on Amazon.com, wherever.
After Dark, Birth of the Disco Dance Party, and this is the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. Anybody remember albums before?
Yeah, Sugar
And
Hill
we
Gang.
have the Sugar Hill Gang, and we're going to
Yeah.
go out on that. Andrea, come on up, and we're going to dance this night away. We thank you for being with Live with Sujay. We're all the way live. Lady K, and all of our sponsors, thank you. Hilux Water, Elisa Lawrence, At Your Rest, all of you, the Fizz Butt Soda, thank you for sponsoring us, and the Foster Phillips Funeral Home. Come on, anybody who's ready to dance our night away, can I do this dance? Uh-oh. Anybody who's ready to dance, come on up. We're going to dance this night away. Come on up. Come on, Miss Andrea. Uh-oh. Anybody, come on, Brenda. Anybody who's ready to dance tonight away, come on, Miss Lisa.